Hi guys, and welcome back to another video game with powers. I'm Jake, and in today's video we are continuing our Primal Community Campaign, taking on Chapter 2, specifically the quest number 41, the Dying Forest, the quest that you guys have all voted on. This is going to be the Poison Quest. Alright, so if you remember last time, quick little recap, we went into the Nizmaranga jungle to go ahead and figure out there's a monster on a rampage on the loose in there, and very messing that town up, really. Our sister city, I think, is what it is, and that is a key supply chain city for us in the capital. So we went in there and we took out the Pazis, all right? We took him out, made our way back, basically got some new options of what we wanted to do, and like I said, you guys have chosen a quest number 41, which is the Dying Forest. So let's go ahead and jump right in. I'm going to read the quest thing. We are going to take a look at the quest scenario booklet right here, the Myth of the Ouroboros. This is the Poison campaign or scenario booklet here. We will read the introductory scenario. We'll jump down to the table. I will show you guys what the setup and gear is looking like, what the monster we're going to be fighting, or the boss we're going to be fighting, and then we're going to go ahead and dive right in. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and start off with quest number 41, the Dying Forest. So it says a team of seekers who have just returned from the Nizmaranga jungle have reported that the plants there are inexplicably dying, and the monsters that inhabit the area are prowling around hungrily, intensely. A new expedition has set off to find out what is happening there. All right, so we are heading back to the Niz. I think it's Miz. We are heading Niz. All right, we are heading back to the Nizmaranga jungle, guys. All right, what I'm actually gonna do is show you kind of a map of Thyrea here, so we can get a good visual scene of where we are at. So we got the map of Thyrea here. So this is the capital, right? This is where we were. This is the Nizmaranga jungle. So we actually made our way back, and then we get a report that we are going to have to head back to the Nizmaranga jungle. So we're going to be going back over here. We got some people dying. Probably has to do with this endless swamp. This poison water has been flowing in here, something like that. We shall see. But let's go ahead and read the introductory scenario here for quest number 41. So quest number 41, the Dying Forest, all right? In the atmosphere in the Nizmaranga jungle is stifling. Under the green cloak of the tree canopy, the sound of Mysteria Falls is muffled like the hissing of a snake. Along the path, the large roots of ancient trees push up toward through the ground, covered in slimy green moss. In some areas, you step over them, and in other sections of the path, you must pass under them as if they were arches, while 1,000 feral eyes open and close in the shady areas of the undergrowth. You proceed on high alert as large drops of water drip from the broad leaves, marking the passage of time. Perfectly camouflaged in the jungle, Hydar are green-scaled dragons covered in shoots that spread the seeds and spores responsible for the growth and renewal of all the vegetation in the jungle. Poisonous to humans, these monsters are in perfect harmony with the forest and defend it as if they were bound to it by some ancient pact. We are still a long way from the swamps in the east, and yet everything seems to be rotting away, says one of the seekers on the mission with you, as he seals a slip of wilted bathanis into one of his vials. In Alberia, the veteran captains are worried because the plants growing in the jungle are valuable resources for mankind's survival on the island. All the hunters have been trained to recognize the Bathanis plant in order to use it while hunting. With multiple bracts-like shrubs, these large blue mushrooms disperse spores with healing properties into the air, but the plant you are currently looking at has turned black and is oozing pus with a fetid odor. All around you, several other plants appear to be infected by the same disease as the Bathanis. You follow the trail of diseased vegetation until you hear a roar echoing through the forest. You reach for your weapons, and immediately two monsters emerge from a bush, locked in furious combat. A large purple snake hisses in an attempt to bite an attacking Hydar. A thorn-covered vine rises from the ground to grab onto the snake's slippery body. With it caught between the thorns, the Hydar takes the head off the snake in a single bite, which rolls between your feet. The Hydar spots you, and the thorny vines that had been swinging from nearby tree branches just moments before now begin to stretch out toward you. The dragon leaps to attack the new intruders in its forest. Alright guys, so here is a picture of the Hydar, this dragon-looking thing that is leaping right towards us. I do wonder if the purple snake it was fighting is this guy, which... that's pretty scary because this guy looks very intimidating. I don't think this snake would be taken out by that Hydar very easily, but you never know. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and jump down to the table where I'll go over the setup and then we're going to dive right into our playthrough. So down here at the table, we got everything set up that we need, and let's go ahead and run through everything that's on our top camera, and then we will go over to that side camera. So starting with the heavy gun character, let's take a look at her gear and equipment. So you guys voted for the winged cannon weapon here. So the deck is going to be consisting of 5 red, 6 blue, 5 yellow, and 6 green here. Our ability is whenever I spend a bullet or ignite, I may immediately move without paying any stamina cost, and we have a base damage of 4, okay? The other forged item that you guys, or the other item that you wanted to forge was the feathered coat. So this is a passive item which will always be available to me. It says when you move, if you are not the aggro player, you may reveal a green card from your hand to ignore the movement cost. So the aggro player is the player that does not have the aggro token, all right? Of course, we have our base helm, which no standard effects here, which is just going to give us 4 health. We still are rocking the red scale armor, which is going to give us 6 additional health, and our ability is if our health is critical, we get to draw 1 at the start of our turn. Again, critical health is our health is half or less rounded down, all right? We are opting to bring in this Alamore potion here, our nice healing potion, which will allow us to heal 2, unless the top card of the attrition pile is 1 or lower, we can heal 4. And then from the last match, we are carrying over the Vidya potion, which is discard a card from your hand to search your deck for an offensive card and add it to your hand, then shuffle your deck. Alright, and then we start bullet track on 3, and of course we have to stick with the same mastery that we have been, because we have not been able to unlock a new one yet, which is when you reload, place a counter on this card. So that is the setup here for the Hellerin list. Now take a look at our dual blade character. You voted for the exact same, to forge the exact same items as the heavy gun. So we got a new weapon here, the twin blade. This is going to have 5 red, 6 blue, 3 yellow, and 6 green. The ability here, at the end of your action phase, the twin blade gets +1 damage if your sequence includes a card of each color. And this can be done a max of 4 times per game. And then it's going to be dealing 3 base damage, alright? Like I said, we do have the feathered coat, which is if you are not the aggro player, you may reveal a green card from your hand to ignore its movement cost. We still have a base helm and a red scale armor as well, giving us a total of 10 health. We are taking in a Alamore potion, and we have an Imperia potion left over from last battle. Suffer 2 damage equal to your weapon level and draw 2 cards. And of course, we are rocking with the same mastery here that we have been, Piercing Dash. When you overrun the monster, place a counter on this card. Alright, up next, we are going to take a look at our Hydar. Now, before we go into the Hydar, I do want to point out that this might be something we want to take a look at in the future, is each monster has an elemental weakness, okay? And so for the Hydar, it's weak to fire, rock, and ice. Alright, and so whenever we go into a battle with a monster with an elemental weakness, if we possess 2 items of one of those weaknesses, then we are allowed to either add an extra card in our deck or remove an extra card, and we can break these limits here of our deck constraints. So let's say, for example, we had 4 fire. We had a fire helm, a fire armor, a fire item, and a fire weapon. I would be able to add, for example, 2 red cards to this deck, and so I could have 7 instead of 5, right? So I'm hoping that when these early chapters, we don't have to really worry about elemental advantage, but as we get to the closer chapters and we increase our difficulty, we might want to keep an eye on those elemental weaknesses, okay? But here is the Hydar. So the 3 behavior cards to start with, we have a blue, a green, and this is whenever a player plays a aggro card. We are going to take a look at this first stance card here. So the Hydar Stance 1, he is going to have 4 toughness per player. At the start of round 1, each player takes a Venom card from their reserve and places it on top of their discard pile, and I'll go over that in a second. He can be hit from anywhere. When he gets 7 wounds, we're going to bring out the Stance 2 card, and he is only dealing 1 damage in this stance. Now, each player is going to have a set of 3 Venom cards. So let's take a look at what this Venom card does. So this can only be used to generate stamina. When you discard this card from your hand, you will suffer damage equal to your weapon level. So right now, everybody will suffer 1 damage when this Venom card comes out, okay? And as you can surmise, the Hydar is going to have cards and behavior cards in his deck that will put these cards, these Venom cards over here in your deck. All right, so the first peril card, we have Wall of Thorns, all right? This is a permanent card. So it says, when Hydar suffers a wound, we will place a Thorn Vine token in the aggro player's sector. If there is already a Thorn Vine token in that sector, the aggro player will suffer damage instead. Wow. That is brutal. So we have these Thorn Vine tokens right here. There is 4 of them. All right, I got the other 2 to the side. So whenever he suffers that wound, we will place that in the sector of the aggro player. Now, these Thorn Vine tokens, what they're going to do is they're placed on a result of his card abilities. When you pay the stamina cost for an offensive card, if you are in a sector with a Thorn Vine token, increase that cost by 1. All right, so he's making things more difficult with these vines. And then we have our objective card, which this is permanent. This is called Harvesting. If I play 2 offensive cards in a row, I remove a Thorn Vine token from your sector. All right, so it looks like I have the ability to remove these Thorn Vine tokens. We have our behavior deck. We have our attrition deck. That is everything we have right here on the table. Our Doublade character is going to be the aggro player, so she will start. But before that, let's go ahead and jump over to the side camera over here, and let's take a look at our board. Okay, guys, so over here we have the Hydar, and he is menacing here. Look at this beast. Let me get a, there we go. Look at this beast here. He is scaly. He is nasty. And he's got a lot of thorns and tree branches growing out. So this is the big bad that we are going to be facing here. Front sector, we got our 2 guys. We also have a Sirene plant, I think is what this is. So when you start your turn in a plant with this sector, you can take 1 damage equal to your weapon level to draw 1 card. All right. Over here in the left sector, you see we have that lovely Bothanus plant. When you start your turn in this sector, you can heal 1. And we also have a new plant over here. This is called the Wild Maw plant. So if a player, there we go. So if a player is threatened and they end their turn in a sector with a Wild Maw plant, they will take 1 damage. All right, in the back over here, we have another Bothanus plant. And then over here on the right-hand side, we have another Wild Maw token, and then just some normal Jungle Brush. And then we have round 1. So that is everything we have over here with our actual board. Let's jump back over to the top camera and go ahead and start our playthrough. Okay, guys, so we are ready to go ahead and dive right in. So we must start at the start of round 1. Each player must take a Venom card and from the reserve and put it on top of their discard pile. So we will go ahead and put our 2 Venom tokens here. Let's go ahead and give the Dual Blade character's deck a shuffle. And we're going to draw 5 cards. And we're going to go ahead and see what we got. So the Dual Blade character is going to have, we'll start with that card. And I got everything nice and compact. I hate when I mess it up. All right. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right. So our Dual Blade character is the aggro player. So we will not be able to use this feathered coat, but we have, wow, 2 greens and 3 blues, okay? Before we do that, again, I always forget, I always mix up the steps here. So let's just go take it through the top. So the first phase we would actually have is the consume phase. I don't want to consume any potions. We would go to the monster upkeep, which is that behavior refresh, but we skip behavior refresh in the first round. We would go to struggle, so the monster is going to go ahead and gain 2 struggle tokens, and then now we would go to the player turns. So let's go ahead and start with the dual blade character, jump over here and see what we got. All right, guys, so it looks like we have cut through, half moon, shadow strike, finesse, and run through. I'm gonna need to move right away. So let's see what we have, because I don't want to take a threatened token. Well, I could take a threatened token and stay where I'm at. You know what? I think what I'm going to do is, let's test something out. Let's go ahead and take 1 damage and draw 1 card right here, all right, for this plant. So we will draw a twist, okay? So we're drawing a twist. We need to go ahead and take a damage, and I'm going to mark that there. And then let's see what I want to do. You may immediately overrun the monster if you do draw 1 card, deal your weapon damage, and draw 1 card. I was kind of hoping for something other than... This is crazy. I think what I will do, cards gain stealth until the end of your turn. When you overrun the monster, you may discard this card from your hand to draw 2 cards. Okay. You know what? I think I will stay where I'm at and go ahead and become threatened, all right? So I will need to take a threatened token. All right, nothing is going to activate here just yet, and we do have that damage right there. So we are not moving. But I do think the first thing that I'm going to do is play, ooh, man, see, if I play a blue and a green, he's going to be doing stuff. Let's see what happens. All right, so I'm going to play cut through first. So you may immediately overrun the monster if you do draw 1 card. Or I could play your cards gain stealth until the end of the turn. I might do that. Let me go ahead and play Shadow Strike first. So my cards gain stealth until the end of the turn. I get to play this for free. All right. And basically, we get to go ahead and remove 1 struggle token from the monster. Now, again, nothing is going to activate because my cards gain stealth. And when they gain stealth, let me double check. There we go. Action cards with the keyword stealth do not trigger reaction icons which contain colors or card type icons when they are played in your sequence. All right, perfect. So that is 1. Next, what we're going to do is let's play cut through. All right, so we will play cut through. So you may immediately overrun the monster if you do draw 1 card. So we're going to play cut through there. And actually, because of my camera, I'm going to need to stack them just like that. All right. So cut through, and let's go ahead and get rid of draw 1, draw 2 instead. Draw 1. Let's go ahead and get rid of finesse. All right. We'll go ahead and pay the stamina cost of finesse. You may immediately overrun the monster. So we overrun the monster on the backhand side. If coming over here, I get to draw a card. So what are we going to get? We're getting another green. Good Lord. Because I have overrun the monster, I get to focus, get 1 focus token on that mastery. And that is not finished yet. Now, if you notice, I played 2 offensive cards back to back. So I get to deal 3 base damage to the Hydar right here for my battle dance. All right, so let's go ahead and continue with the rest of my turn. I can immediately overrun the monster again. I think that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna play this green. All right, we're gonna play that green down there, and we're gonna pay for it with disengage. All right, we're gonna pay for it with disengage. So that's gonna be moved. I get to overrun the monster again. And because we have overrun the monster a second time, all right, and when I overrun the monster, I should have got rid of this threatened token. I now have unlocked my mastery. Perfect. When you overrun the monster, deal your base weapon damage or draw one card. Perfect. All right. I got 2 cards left over. I think I might keep these because I want to try and get the bonus damage for my weapon, which was I gotta have 1 card of each color. So I think I'm gonna keep these 2 cards. So we would now go into attrition damage. So I am no longer threatened. So we're only gonna draw 1, and perfect. This is a 1 here. I do have 1 defensive card in my sequence, so I would go ahead and protect that, basically. All right. None of these cards are aggros either, so I will not activate, again, any behavior cards. And then basically what I'm going to kind of do for the remainder of these playthroughs, just so I'm not constantly switching back and forth between cameras all the time, what I'll typically do first is change the orientation of the monster, but he's not going to change, and then now I'll discard and draw those cards over there on the other camera. All right, so I would discard all 3 of my cards in the sequence that I played. I do have 2 cards left over, so I will get to generate a stamina token, and then we are going to draw 1, 2, and 3. Yes, finally, I get 3 cards, or 1 card of each. All right, so those are my 5 cards that I have. Perfect. Okay, so that is the end of the dual blade character's turn. Again, I wouldn't have activated any of those because I had stealth on all of my cards. So that's 3. Let's give this deck a shuffle. I can't remember if I shuffled it or not. So now we would move into the heavy gun character's turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And let's see what we get. So we get green, red, green, blue, and green. Okay. It's okay. Yeah, I think we're going to keep that for now. All right. So with this one, actually, what we'd be able to do is we are not the aggro player, so we can reveal a green. I got 3 greens, actually, from my hand. We just reveal this green card from our hand, and we get to ignore the movement cost when we are moving, all right? So we essentially get to move for free. So we're going to go ahead and move over here into this sector, all right, and let's go ahead and play some cards. So green and blue will activate some behaviors. Aggro is going to activate behaviors. Let's see how bad this aggro card is. So we'll start by playing Gunfire, all right? You may spend a bullet to increase the damage this attack deals by 3. All right, so we're going to play that for free. You may spend a bullet to increase the damage this attack deals by 3. All right, so we will go ahead and spend 1 bullet. All right, and we're going to increase the damage by this 3. When I spend a bullet, I may immediately move without paying any stamina cost, which I would like to do that. So I think what I'm going to do is move back into this front sector there. I'm going to see what happens if I constantly move around. Well, actually, no, I want to move into this back sector, kind of stay in that Bathanis plant area. All right. And we are dealing 4 base plus an additional 3 for spending a bullet. And we are dealing, what is that? I can do math here. That is 7 damage, all right? So we are dealing 7 damage to the Hydar here. Okay, I always got to do this. So 5 would come out. So that would be 8. That would be enough to cause it a wound. So that would drop it down to 9. Now, whenever the Hydar suffers a wound, we will place a Thornvine token into the aggro player's sector, all right? So the aggro player would become the heavy gun because that was an aggro card there. And so a Thornvine token would be placed in that sector. And then there would be 2 damage left over that we would put on the Hydar. Okay, so we got the Thornvine token in this sector over here. with the heavy gun character, and actually I'll put it right there. So now that Thornvine is going to cause any offensive card to cost 1 more. All right. However, we are not done. We need to figure out what this behavior card does. And let's see. So this says Lush Growth. So the Hydar will gain struggle per player -1 and place a Thornvine token in the aggro player's sector. If there is already a Thornvine token in that sector, the aggro player suffers damage instead. A rustle cuts through the branches of the trees. Does the monster protect the forest, or does it merely feed off its strength? Okay, so we already have a Thornvine token here in this sector, so we will be suffering 1 damage. All right, I gotta remember that the aggro is the Thornvine token. All right, next we will place a red down in there, and he should also be gaining 1 struggle token. Okay, that I do believe is everything for that turn. When you suffer damage, you may discard this card from your hand to prevent that damage. Okay, so I can play this, draw 1. If your bullet tracker is 1 or higher, draw 2 instead. This would cost 2, but I would be able to get rid of that Thornvine token, which I kind of want to do. You may choose a player to discard from their hand if they do reload 2. Let's go ahead and play this. Let's see what some of these behavior cards do. So I'm going to play Pressing Shot. All right, so this is going to cost 2 now. It's going to cost 2 instead of 1. So let me see here. Let's get rid of Tactical Reload, right? Let's get rid of Tactical Reload for 2. So we are going to get rid of Tactical Reload for 2. And then it says if your bullet track is 1 or higher, draw 1. Or if your bullet track is level 1 or higher, draw 2 instead. Our bullet track is 2. So we get Cover Fire and we get Quick Shot. All right. So we have played a blue. So we would go ahead and remove 1 struggle token. And then we're going to activate this blue. Let's see how bad this thing is. All right. So Venomous Claw. The active player suffers damage unless they reveal a yellow from their hand. And then what it says is this is a boost. So the active player must search their discard pile for a Venom card and place it on top of their deck. So do we have a yellow from the hand? We do not, all right? So the active player would suffer a damage. So we would suffer damage, and then we would take our Venom card and put it on top of our deck. Okay, so that one is not really bad. So blue is just going to have you put, if it's boosted, it's going to have you put a Venom card on top of your deck to basically deal a damage, and I need a yellow for that. Okay, so back to me. All right. And one more thing, because I played a double offensive card, we get to remove this Thornvine token from our sector. Perfect. All right. When you discard this card from your hand, reload 1 or deal your base weapon damage. When another player would suffer attrition damage, you may discard this card from your hand to prevent that damage. You may choose a player to discard everything from the hand that you do reload 2. Man, so these are all free. Here's where I'm stuck though, is I kind of want to play one of these greens, but a behavior card will activate. I definitely don't want to play this red, because he has 2 behavior cards with red out right now. So we want to save that. I want to save this offensive card as well. I feel like playing these double offensive cards to remove these Thornvine tokens is going to be critical, because as you've seen, it seems to me like a lot of these behavior cards he has are, if there's already a Thornvine token in there, you're going to get damage dealt to you. I think what I'm going to do is let's keep prompt jump and play strategic support for free. All right, so we will play strategic support for free. I may choose a player to discard an offensive card from their hand. If they do, you get to reload 2. So let's see what the dual blade character has. No, we don't want to discard anything because we want to try and play all 4 of these cards. All right, we want to try and play all 4 of these cards on our turn. Okay, so we would keep the aggro token, and basically nothing's going to happen because it's just a defensive card in our sequence, but he is going to activate the green. So let's see how bad this green is. We have Thorned Roses. So if the active player is in a sector with a Thornvine token, that player becomes threatened and suffers damage. All right, so I can live with that. So if he's in a sector with a Thornvine token, that player becomes threatened and suffers damage. That is not bad. Okay, guys, I think what I'm going to do is end my turn, and we're going to keep these 3 cards. So we need to do Attrition, which is a 1. We do have 1 green in here, so we are safe. Now, again, the monster will turn to the aggro player. Again, I'm gonna do this step early, so that we can all. I'm not jumping back and forth between these whatchamacallits, cameras very quickly. All right, so that is that step. We're gonna go ahead and discard our 3 cards, and then we are drawing 2. Because we have 3 in our hand, we get a free stamina token, and we know what that card is going to be, the Venom card, and then this is going to be another green. Okay, so that is going to be the end of our first round. Do we have any end of round effects here? Nothing that I can see. So we would just go over here, drop this round marker down to number 2, and we would go back up top to our consume phase. So I don't really want to consume anything right now. Maybe with the Helleran I could find an offensive card, but I have enough offensive cards, so I think I'm going to keep that. Let's take a look at the... I think what I might do is keep everything for now, right? I really don't want to mess with anything right now unless I really need it. I feel like I got a pretty good, decent hand. Let's go ahead and not consume nothing. So we're going to go ahead and do the behavior refresh, which is this 1 card right here, and a threatened token is going to come out, or a threatened behavior is coming out. And then he's going to get to struggle, which is going to flip him over to 3. All right. Now we are going to start actually with the heavy gun character because she has aggro here. And if we go over to this camera right here, you will see that she is in the area with a Bathanus plant, so she can heal herself. Equal to her weapon level, I believe, which is 1. All right, so we're going to heal ourselves for 1, and then we are the aggro player, so we are going to have to pay our movement cost. And essentially what I'm going to do is just use this Venom card to generate the stamina for that, because it must be used to generate stamina, so I will take an extra damage. All right, so we got to move. Let me move into this sector here. All right. So that was my movement, and then now let's see what I think I do is let's play Hall of Bullets, all right? We don't have any greens out there, so I don't have to worry about greens, so we will spend 1. I'm going to spend this quick shot. When you discard this card from your hand, reload 1 or deal your base weapon damage. I feel like I want to keep these. Yeah, I'm only taking 1 right now. I don't think it's that bad. So we will discard Prompt Jump, okay? We will discard Prompt Jump. So we are going to draw X, where X is the level of our bullet track. So our bullet track is 2. So we're getting 1 and 2, all right? We get 1 and 2, and let's see what we got. So, spend any number of bullets to increase the attack that deals by 2 for each bullet. Ooh, that could be good, but that's an aggro. If I remember, aggro is going to put a Thornvine token in your spot. So I don't want to use that. I want to play that. So what I can do is play Barrage of Bullets. All right, so we'll play Barrage of Bullets. Okay, and I will discard my stamina token that I have for this. All right, so this is a aggro card and it is a red. Woo, we're dropping 2 behaviors right now. And let's go see what we have in store for us. So I would need to spend my stamina token. All right, it says spend any number of bullets to increase the damage this attack deals by 2. So here's our card. So spend any number of bullets to increase the attack. This deals by 2 for each bullet spent this way. So we're going to go 1 and 2, increasing our attack by 4. All right. So we have a base of 4. We have spent that. So I'm going to move again. But I'll go ahead and move in just a sec. Let me go ahead and apply damage. Let me go ahead and move. And then we will go from there. All right. So let's do damage first. I will move and then activate these behavior cards. So what did I say? 8. So 4. And we'll actually know because I'm going to need to move first because he's going to put something in my token. Okay. So let me go ahead and move first. I want to move over here in this sector in the back again. All right. So because I spent bullets, right, I can move without paying any stamina cost. So now I have 8 damage coming out to him. All right, so 8 damage is coming out to him. So we'll do 5. So that's 6, 7, and then 1 more is going to be 8. All right, that's going to go ahead and cause a wound, which is dropping him down to 8. All right, and then because he has suffered a wound, all right, because he has suffered a wound, we are going to place a Thornvine token in the aggro player's sector. All right. So Thornvine token out in the aggro player sector, and then we would have 2 left over. All right, so that is our damage step. So now we'll just go in order over here. So we did have a red card activate. So Thorn Roses, if the active player is in a sector with a Thornvine token, that player becomes threatened and suffers damage. Oh, Jesus. This is going to be rough. Okay. So we do not want to get these reds. We got to be very careful about these reds. So I would become threatened here. All right. And I'm going to suffer a damage. Okay. So that is one of them. Now, because I became threatened, we would activate this behavior as well. So let's take a look at this one, which we know what this is. This is going to be Lush Growth. So he gets a struggle. And we will take a damage because there is a Thornvine token in our sector. All right. So he will gain 1 struggle. And then I would take another damage for having a Thornvine token. And now because we are threatened, all right, this says the active player suffers a wound unless they discard a blue from their hand. This is going to be boosted, and the active player must search their discard pile for a Venom card and place it on top of their deck. Oh my good God. Ooh, I kind of do not want to spend this. So let me think about this here. So if I don't discard, I would take a damage, and then basically we would have to remove this and put this Venom card on top of my deck anyway. All right. So let's see. If I don't discard this, I would take a wound at 5. I'm pretty much taking a wound, so I would be at 6. If I do, I can deal my base weapon damage, but then that Thornvine token stays out. And I could play this for free and remove the Thornvine token. Okay, so I'll do that. So I will discard a blue from my hand. It says when you discard from this hand, you can reload 1 or deal your base weapon damage. So I will deal my base weapon damage, which is going to be 4. So that's going to be 6 damage to the Hydar. All right, and then I put that pile back on my deck. So now we will fill all of these rows. So he is going to have to reshuffle. So he does that. Man, I don't think it's I can't remember what the step is where he does his thing. All right. We're going to place that. All right. So he would gain, it's not the unleash step. It's going to bug me. What is this thing called? Escalation step. All right. So he is going to escalate, which is whenever I have to shuffle this behavior deck or the behavior deck runs out, he gets an extra token for that. All right. So those are the next 3 cards that are coming out. We got a Rampage, we got a Start Your Turn in the Front Sector, and we have a Aggro card. Okay. I believe that is everything for that particular card that I played, which, wow, that was a lot. That was not a good trade-off there. That was definitely not a good trade-off. Okay. Last thing we have is, I think what I'm going to do is play this Cover Fire. I am going to have to pay a stamina because this would be 1. All right, this is not an aggro card, so I'm okay there. And we're going to get rid of Prompt Reflexes. Okay, so Cover Fire is going to deal just base damage there. But since I played 2 offensive cards in a row, I get to remove this Thorn Vine token. All right. Dealing base damage of 4. Okay, so that's 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 is coming out. 2 is going to cause a wound. All right, so 2 is going to cause a wound. That is going to bring out the next stance card. Sheesh. All right, next stance card we have. It's the Hydar Stance 2. So it says when he has a toughness of 6 per player. When each player takes a Venom card, when revealed, each player takes a Venom card from their reserve and places it on top of their discard pile. He can be hit anywhere. 4 is going to be stance 3, and he is dealing 1 damage. All right. This is permanent, so this Wall of Thorns is going to stay there. And now it says at the start of the round, remove any Bathanis terrain that are in a sector with a Thornvine token. If you remove at least 1 Bathanis terrain this way, Hydar heals half the damage it currently sustains. Oh my goodness, now you're taking away my healing plants? Jesus. Okay. So we would have 2 left over. All right, he did take the wound down to 7, and remember, when he does take a wound, we are going to place a Thornvine token in the aggro player sector. So this is going back, and unfortunately, that is in a Bathanis area. So I need to find a way to remove that as quickly as I can, but I don't think I will. Okay, so I have no more cards left in my hand. The monster over here is going to stay turned to the aggro player, which is the heavy gun character, so he's not turning. And we are discarding these 3 cards from our hand and drawing up to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, let's see what we get. Red, blue, green, and of course we get the Deadly Venom. All right, we will now move over to our Dual Blade character, okay? So we are going to start our turn in a sector that has this plant where we can take a damage and draw a card. Do I want to take a damage and draw a card? So, okay, let me do some math here real quick. So I could play this. No, so I play this. I chain a, after that. So I can chain a red for free after that. I can chain a yellow after free. Oof, that's going to be tough. That's going to be tough to finesse that. I think so, but I do have a stam token. I don't really want to take any damage right now because I feel like a lot of damage is coming my way. So I am going to choose not to activate that. I am not the aggro player, so I do have a green, so I can essentially move for free. And I don't really want to, man, see, this is the hard part, is I don't want to start my turn in a sector with a Bathanis plant. So I'm going to move over here, okay? And now, let's go ahead and take my turn. So I feel like the first thing we need to do is get rid of some of this struggle. So let me see what that does. So that is, you can trigger the ability if the next card you play in your sequence is an attack card. All right. So I need to basically have a red card come after this one. So blue card come after this one. So red card after this one. And then I can chain a red after the green. Ooh, it might just be easier to chain some stuff. Okay, so let me see what we want to do first. So if I play this, it's an aggro. Are all these cards aggro? What's not the aggro card? All right, the half moon is not the aggro card. I can chain some stuff for free. This is going to be the one that I'm going to have to pay for. Okay, let me see how this works. I think I'm going to play half moon first. So we will play half moon. All right, and I will use my stamina token right here to go ahead and pay for that. All right, so I get to just remove one struggle from the monster and go from there. So if I play a red now, so if I play this red, I could chain this yellow. I'd have to get rid of one of these, so I would get rid of the red. I wouldn't be able to draw. I would remove a struggle, but I wouldn't be able to draw. So I don't think... Oh no, so I would get a card. Okay, so I would play this and get rid of my red. Sorry, trying to figure this out. So I could play this, get rid of my red. Because I'm playing a red after that, I could deal my weapon damage and draw a card. So I could get a card. So what would I... Yeah, so I'd keep these two. Then I could play this for free after that. And then basically whatever that is, play that next. Okay, so I think that's what we're going to do. So I will play Airblade. All right. We are going to play Airblade in there. And because I have played a red after that, I'm going to discard Crescent Strike. All right. Because I have played a red, I get to deal my weapon damage and draw one card. Okay, so I get to deal my base weapon damage, which is 3. So this is going to put him at 5. And I get to draw a card, which is a Slice. Okay? All right, so that was my half moon card. So now I have played a red card, so we're going to deal some damage. Because I have 2 offensive cards back to back, we get to activate Battle Dance. So I'm going to deal an additional 6 damage to him this turn. So that's 5 and 6. All right, 5 and 6. And I already know what card is coming. So, actually, so this is going to activate. So he gains struggle -1, and we're placing a Thorn Vine token in my sector. So struggle minus, or per player -1. All right, Thorn Vine token comes out into my sector, and now he activates a Rampage card. So the Poisonous Vines. So Hydar gains 1 struggle per player. Each player in a sector with a Thorn Vine token must discard the top 3 cards of their deck and suffers damage for each Venom card they discarded this way. Oof, it's going to be a big one. All right, so we'll do the first part. So Hydar would gain 1 struggle per player. So he would gain 2. This would put him at 6. He would do the Unleash step, all right, which when he unleashes, he's going to drop back down to 2 struggle per player, and he's going to deal damage equal to stance to both of us. So 1 damage for me, and then 1 damage for the heavy gun character. All right. So that was that Unleash step. Then each player in a sector with a Thornvine token must discard the top 3 cards of their deck. All right. Both my players are in a sector with a Thornvine token. So discard the top 3 cards of their deck. We'll start with the Dual Blade. I don't think she has any Venom, but I know the heavy gun. No. Oh, yeah, that's right. It's in my hand. Woof. All right. So we're safe on that one. All right. And then we're going to go ahead and refill and put these cards out. So that was my red. Okay. So that is everything there for my red. I want to get Man, if I put this green out there, when you would suffer damage, discard this card from your hand to immediately overrun the monster and draw one card. All right, I am going to play the reactive defense for free. I can chain this. I can chain a yellow for this for free. All right, and nothing is going to happen. And then the last thing we're going to do is play this green. All right, we will play this green and get rid of the slice. All right, it's only going to cost 1. The Thornvine token, remember, is only 2 offensive cards. So we're going to get rid of slice. We are going to play the green here. All right, and I would get to draw 1 card. And then we're going to activate this green. I can't remember what the green does. All right, so we get spinning. And we are going to pop this green out here. So if the active player is in a sector with a Thornvine token, that player becomes threatened and suffers damage. Oh my goodness. All right. So we are threatened. We suffer damage. Well, that was not worth it to try and get the bonus. All right. But hey, at least, well, it says at the end of the action phase. All right. So the action phase is not over. We do become threatened. The active player suffers damage unless they discard a blue from their hand, and then they must search their discard pile for a venom card and put it on top of their deck. All right, so spend 1. We do not have a blue, so we would suffer another damage. All right, and search our pile for a venom card and put it on top of our deck. Okay. I also realized that this should have been, there should have been 2 venom cards in our deck. We'll just put them in there when this guy got revealed. So we should be down to 2. Okay, so I took a damage, put the venom card in there, and I only have 1 card left, so definitely cannot play that. And we will end our turn. So we are, oh my god. All right, well, those are 2 big ones. So 3 and 2. We will go with the highest, which is 3. I have 2, so I gotta take another damage. All right, we are taking another damage for the dual blade character. All right. So we are going to turn the monster first to the aggro player, which we should have gotten aggro a while ago. I keep forgetting this. And we're going to turn him there. And we will discard all these cards in our sequence. And we get a +1 token. Okay, let's draw 5 cards. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we get our illustrious venom card. Okay, so that is going to be the end of round number 2. So let's go ahead and drop this down to round number 3 and pick it back up from the top. We do have to activate a peril, life renewal. So this life renewal here will say at the start of the round, remove any Bathanis terrain that are in a sector with a Thornvine token. If you remove at least 1 Bathanis terrain this way, Hydar heals half the damage it currently sustains. All right. So unfortunately, we do have a Bathanis plant in a sector with a Thornvine token. So we will have to remove that and then heal the Hydar half of its damage, all right? So it is currently at 11, so we are going to heal it for 5. I'm assuming it would be rounded up. So let me see if there's anything in this Venom expansion that says specifically about the Hydar and rounding up. I'm assuming it would be rounded up, so we would take off 1 additional as well. I could be wrong. I'm hoping I'm wrong because that just made things more diabolical for me. So that's the start of the round, okay? We now move into the consume phase. I'm going to roll a dice here and not consume any potions, okay? So then we would go to the behavior refresh. So we would need to get rid of this card, put a new one out. All right, And then we need to give him 2 struggle, bringing him to 3. All right. So that should be everything that we need to do. And now we go to our player turns. All right. So over here, I am starting in the front sector of the monster. So we do have a behavior card for this. So let's take a look at this. We have Paralyzing Grasp. The active player cannot play any green in their sequence this turn. Oof. And this is the last behavior card in the deck, so he is going to do some escalation and grab himself another struggle token. All right, put that behavior deck there. And then real quick, while we're here in the front, what I'm just going to do is we're going to need to move because we are the aggro player. I'm just going to go ahead and pay for that movement with this Venom card right here. What that's going to do is I have to take a damage equal to my weapon level, and then because I am moving, I will go ahead and remove this threatened token. So I'm going to choose to move away from this Thornvine token and move out into this sector right here. And let's take a look at our hand. So we have Backstab, Piercing Strike, Spinning, and Shadow Step. I think what I'm going to do is play Backstab. So this is going to give me Stealth. This ability here is going to be, this doesn't matter because I'm not overrunning the monster. This does not draw aggro, all right, so I'm good there. And we're going to play Back Stealth and do some damage. So we are going to be dealing 4 damage to the Hydar here because our weapon does have +1. All right, so that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, 3 and 4 damage. And again, nothing will activate because that backstab did have stealth. All right, take a look at our next card. Wow, I could play. So I cannot play any greens at all. You know what? I could do. You mean immediately move? So I can't play any greens. So actually, I might do something wild. Is this drawing aggro? Let me see. Nope, that's not going to draw aggro. So I'm going to play Piercing Strike. Okay, Piercing Strike. I'm going to pay for it with Shadow Step. All right, we're going to pay for that with Shadow Step. And it says you may immediately overrun the monster. So let me think about this. If I overrun the monster, I can draw a card or deal damage. I would say yes. If we take a look at this Piercing Strike card, right, I can immediately overrun the monster. So I would overrun the monster coming into the back over here. I think the effect I'm going to do is, if I deal base weapon damage, what is that? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's going to drop that. So I don't want to deal base damage. I do want to draw a card. All right. So we will draw Scythe. All right. We're drawing a card for that. Then our Piercing Strike would actually then, because I played 2 back-to-back, right, we get Harvesting done. So I would get to remove this Thornvine token from that sector. All right, and then I would go ahead and deal some damage. So I played 2 red cards, or 2 offensive reds. We have the Twin Blade here. I'm activating Battle Dance. So I'm dealing 4 and 3, so 7 damage is coming out to the Hydar right here. Okay, so let's figure this out. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So he's at 9. 3 is going to get him to 12. All right, so 3 is going to get him to 12. So 4 is going to be left over. So let me take these off and just actually leave 4 left over. He is going to take a wound going down to 6. And remember, whenever he suffers a wound, we need to place a Thornvine token in that sector. All right. So we will get the Thornvine token back in that sector. Now, I did play a red, so we will need to activate this red. So if the active player is in a sector with a thorn vine token, that player becomes threatened and suffers a wound. All right. So we become threatened and I suffer a wound. All right, I suffer 1 wound. Man, that last phase of this Hydar is going to be ridiculous. Where is my threatened token? Right there. All right, so I am threatened. We did a wound, and we are not activating this because he is not there. All right, let's kind of get that. There we go. Okay, so we have spinning and scythe. So I can't play any greens. I think what I might just do is end my turn right there. All right, so we need to do attrition. So that's going to be the first card. That's going to be the second card. Man, that's brutal. I have nothing in my sequence. So I will take another damage, bringing me up to 8. All right. So, again, like I said, I'm going to do this side first. So, I'll rotate the monster to the aggro player, which is still going to be the dual blade character. I do have 2 cards left over in my hand, so I will get a stamina token, and we're going to draw. So, 1 card. All right, right there. I have decked out, which is fatigue damage. All right, so weapon level, which is another health right there, and we are going to need to shuffle the deck and see what we got. Man, this is not this is not looking good. Not looking good, guys. All right, let's go ahead and get 2 cards and let's see what we have. So 1 and 2. All right. So those are my 5 cards that we have right there. So that is going to be the end of the dual blade character's turn. So now let's go and take a look at the heavy gun character. So right away, if we are not the aggro player, so we can do a green to move up out of there, which we will. So I will essentially get to move for free, which would get rid of this threatened token for us. And I think what we're going to do is move into this sector right here. And I forgot to discard. Actually, these should be shuffled in the deck as well. We're going to slide these in and shuffle them just like that. All right. Okay. There we go. Now we're straight. So I went ahead and revealed the green to move for free. All right, I removed threatened and I moved into this sector over here with a lovely Bathanus plant. So let's see what I got. So I got a cannonball. I have no bullets. That's reload 2, long range. When you discard this card from your hand, draw 1 card, and venom. All right. Well, we have a blue, we have a red, and we have aggro. We got to use this for stamina. Reload 2. The next spread you play this turn gains stealth, while this card is the top card of your discard pile. Prevent any attrition damage you would suffer. You may spend bin bullets. If you do, stun the monster. I need to find some bullets. Can I find a way to get some bullets? Let's do recharging. All right. I don't think blue was that bad. So we're going to do recharging. All right. I will pay for it with venom, which is going to cause me to take a damage, and I get to reload 2 and remove 1 struggle token from the monster. So I need to take 1 damage. I get to reload 2. Every time I reload, I get a focus there. And we get to remove 1 struggle from our monster, and he gets to do a blue card. All right. So the active player suffers damage unless they reveal a yellow from their hand, and then he's going to boost this and place a venom card on top of his deck. Okay, so he's going to go down to 2 struggle. All right. Venom card on top of the deck. And I need to reveal a orange, which I do, yellow, yeah. All right, so I am free. So we have done recharge, okay? Let's see what else we have. A long range, that might be good. Let me see. Let's go ahead and play long range, all right? The next red you play this turn gains stealth. So we're going to play long range into our sequence here. I'm going to pay for it with swift deflection. When you discard this card from your hand, draw one card. All right. Boom. And let's see what we draw. We get the Venom. Duh. I'm an idiot. I am an idiot. So we get Venom. All right. And this card can only be used to generate stamina. When you discard this card from your hand, suffer damage equal to your weapon level. I think what I will do is end my turn right here, okay? So I think what I'll do is end my turn. So we need to do attrition. I am not threatened. So we do have a 1, and I do have 1 defensive card in my sequence, so we're going to be safe. All right, the monster will turn to the aggro player, which is still the dual blade character over here. And because I have 2 cards in my sequence, I will get a stamina token. Where's the other stam token at? Right here, I'll get a stamina token. And we are drawing 3 cards. 1, 2, and 3. All right, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, yeesh. That's a pretty crazy hand there. And that is going to be the end of the 3rd round, okay? So now we would go ahead and bring it back up top. Let me go ahead and drop down to round number 4. At the start of the round, remove any Bothanus terrain that are in a sector with a Thorn Vine token. You see, this is the only other sector that has a Bothanus plant, and we are safe right there. So that's good. We're going to go into the consume phase, and we are definitely consuming our Alamore potions. So because the attrition deck is a 1, we will go ahead and heal for 4 on both our characters. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right. And that's that. And then this guy is going to heal for 4, so he's at 6. We just drop him down to 2, all right? I also realized I probably should have drew a card because I was in critical health. I definitely forgot to do that. Okay, so that is the consume phase. We're going to go to the behavior refresh phase, which is going to be discarding this, dropping that out, and then he's going to gain a struggle, putting him at 3. And we're going to go ahead and start with the aggro player, which is our dual blade character, all right? So we are going to have to move, so I will just spend my stam token to move, and we're going to get rid of this threatened token as well. We have nothing activating based off a start our turn, and we're going to go over to the board over here. So I think what I'm going to do is, where do I want to move? I kind of don't want to move if I have any aggro cards. There's only 1 card in my sequence that has aggro. I kind of want him to be in the Bothanus plant. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and move him over here into this sector right there. All right, let's see what we have. All right. I have a lot I can play with. Anything but a green, which kind of sucks because I want to play this green. But that green, if I remember correctly, you may discard this card from your hand to immediately overrun the monster. When you suffer damage, discard this card from your hand to immediately overrun the monster and draw 1 card. If a red is played after this, deal your damage, right? Let me make sure. I always have trouble remembering some of this. So you can trigger this ability if the next card you play in your sequence is the attack card. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is play Half Moon, all right? We will play Half Moon. I need to pay for that with something. And it doesn't look like... well, actually... it might be worth to play Spinning So if I played spinning first, I could chain a blue after that. So hold on. So that'd be chaining a blue. That's free. I'd have to get one of those. And then that's free. And then I use these two to pay if I wanted to try and get all 4 down to get my thing boosted. Is it worth trying to boost, or is it worth trying to survive? I think right now it's worth just trying to survive. So I think that's what I'll do. So we will play Half Moon. All right. And I'm going to get rid of spinning. Okay. I'm going to get rid of spinning. So we are basically just going to remove a struggle token there. Okay. So we got struggle over here. You can see that. I'm just going to pop that one over there, flip it, and then get him one more. All right. So that was my first card. The second card we're going to play is Scythe. All right. We will play Scythe. So put that there. All right. And I need to pay for 1. So when you suffer damage, discard this card from your hand to immediately overrun a monster. When a behavior card is revealed, you may discard this card from your hand to immediately overrun the monster. So either way, I'm not preventing anything. More than likely, behavior card... actually, no, I'm not acting a behavior card, so I would want to keep reactive defense. So we will pay for it with divert, okay? So pay for it with divert, and we have played this after a red, so we can deal our weapon damage and draw 1 card. So this does not say base, I think I messed up earlier, this does not say base weapon damage. It says deal your weapon damage. Most of the time on cards, it'll say base weapon damage. So I'm going to be dealing 4 damage and drawing a card. So what do we get? We get offensive attitude. Okay. And we are dealing 4 damage to this guy. So this is going to be 8. So I will just flip that over into there. All right. So that was just my Half Moon. That was just my Half Moon ability right there. We now have to go into account of dealing our damage with the red. And because I have 2 offensive cards, I have Battle Dance. All right. So what's going to happen here is, unfortunately, we're going to get a Thornvine token in this area. I also should have drawn a card at the start of my turn. I just realized because I am critical health, so we get a dancing as well. Which that probably could have affected a lot of things. But we are dealing 7 damage to him. So 5, 6, 7, 8. We need 9, 10, 11, 12. So 4 is going to come out and cause a wound. So he will be down to 5. And then 3 is going to be left over. All right. Because we have caused a wound, we are going to do Wall of Thorns. And a Thornvine token is coming out in our sector here with that Bathanus plant. Okay. I'm not activating anything right now, so we are still good. I believe that is it for everything right there. All right. Let's see what we have. Draw 1 for each attack card in your sequence. That is an aggro card, however. Increase your sequence limit by 1 this turn when another player wears red. Okay, interesting. So, we do have an aggro out. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, that aggro is he gets a struggle token, he's putting a Thornvine token in there, and he's dealing damage. Okay? So... I could technically play that and activate the Thornvine thing, correct? I would think so, because I have 2 back-to-back in my sequence. Let's try that. Let's see what's going on here. All right, so I'm gonna play Dancing for the 3rd card in my sequence. I'm gonna get rid of Offensive Attitude. All right, so we are getting rid of Offensive Attitude to pay for this. So this says draw 1 card for each offensive card in your sequence. So I will be drawing 3 cards. So we have 1, 2, and 3. All right. 3 cards in my sequence. And I am focused, so I get to increase my sequence limits by 1. We are going to take away a struggle token for that. And then this is an aggro card. Actually, before that, because I have played back-to-back offense cards in my sequence, I'm going to remove this Thornvine token from that sector. And actually, I would have needed to pay 1 additional for that, so I would have to have gotten rid of reactive defense as well. All right. Get rid of reactive defense as well. And so now we are going to get rid of that, and we will activate this card. So Hydar gains struggle -1. Place a Thornvine token in the player's sector. If there already is one, he suffers damage. All right. So he will just gain 1 struggle token back, and essentially this Thornvine token just goes back in its place. Okay. I'm not done yet. Rampage. Hydar gains 1 struggle per person. Each player in a sector with a Thornvine token must discard the top 3 cards of their deck and suffers a wound for each Venom card they discard this way. Okay, so he would be at 4. All right, so each card 1, 2, and 3. All right, so we are safe there, and we would go 1 and 2. All right, so 2 are discarded. We are going to need to take fatigue damage on the heavy gun. So we are at 3. And we just need to shuffle them up and deal 1 more and see what we got. Okay, so, man, I'm trying, guys. I'm trying. We're at 5. We are at 5. So 1 more discarded, and it is cover fire, so we're good for now. Okay. We need to replace. So replace both of these. All right, and then we need to continue with our turn. All right, so I think what we're going to do is play Crescent Strike, and I need to pay 2 to be able to play this. So we'll play Crescent Strike, all right, and I'm going to pay 2 stamina, right, because I am in a sequence. I am in a sequence with a Thornvine token. So 2 stamina out there. I have played 2 back-to-back offensive cards, so I do get to remove this Thornvine token. And then now let's go ahead and do some damage. So we will be doing 4 base. Now I have 4 in my sequence, so that's 5. Okay, so I'm dealing 9 damage. So that's 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, so he is taking another hit right there. All right, so we are bringing out stance number 3. Okay, but before that, when the Hydar suffers a wound, place a Thornvine token in the aggro player sector. So Thornvine token goes back. All right, we have made it to the last stand, guys. Last stand. All right, the Hydar. Okay, so 8 toughness per player. When revealed, each player takes a Venom card from their reserve and places it on top of the discard pile. Can hit him anywhere, and he is dealing 2 damage to me. Thankfully, this life renewal is going away. All right, that thankfully goes away. And then now this says, increase the stamina cost of movement by 1 for players in sector with a Thornvine token. Ooh, that's tough. So that was all of my damage, right? Because I was dealing 4 and 5 was 9. That got me to 12. He's at 4. That's all of our damage, okay? Nothing is going to activate off that, okay? And that is pretty much all the cards I have in my hand. So we will need to do attrition, which is a 1 here. And unfortunately, I take 2 hits. This is going to be the tough part. This is going to be the tough part for me. All right. So we are going to need to discard all of these cards in our sequence. All right. I have no more cards left in my hand. Let me draw. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And actually, while I remember, the last Venom cards need to go into our discard pile. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Golly, man. That's rough. I cannot take any more damage or else I'm tapped out. Okay, So Hydar will turn to face the aggro player, and now we are starting off with the heavy gun character. Now she is in a sequence with a Bothanos plant, so we're going to get to heal 1. So we will heal 1 damage right away for that, and let's see what we got. So we are not the aggro player, so if we have a green, we can reveal that to ignore the cost of movement. So we will pay the Venom card to move, and let's see what we got. So really the only spot I want to move is right here, okay? I think that's the only spot that I'm comfortable moving. I also forgot I start in a spot with a we started our turn in a sector in the front sector, paralyzing grasp. We cannot play any more green for right now, and he will escalate, bringing him up to 5. All right, I gotta play a blue. Oof, I got to play a blue. All right, where are my blues? Yep. Okay, so when you reveal an attrition card, you may reveal this card from your hand and spend a bullet in order to gain a defensive token. Shuffle all. Man, I do not. Discard any number of cards from your hand and then draw until you have 3. I think the first thing we'll do is just play Not This Time for free to remove one of these struggle tokens to get that up out of there. Let's see what we got. Ah, man, I am not liking where I'm at. So I can discard my whole hand and draw 3 cards, but I kind of want to keep this repositioning. So let me play Ready to Shine. All right, Ready to Shine. We're going to play Ready to Shine. We will discard Cannonball. All right, discard Cannonball, and I'm going to keep repositioning. So discard any number of cards from your hand and then draw up until you have 3. I'm going to choose not to discard, so I need to draw 2 cards. What do we get? Barrage of bullets and ranged. Okay. As long as I spend any number of bullets to increase the damage. Okay, so that is an aggro and a red. Okay, aggro is gonna put a Thornvine token in that spot. Ooh, and then I could get rid of it with repositioning. Okay, that might work. So let's go ahead and play Barrage of Bullets. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and play Barrage of Bullets. So I need to spend 1, and we will spend actually we'll spend ranged. So it'll count as a green for attrition check. It's because I can't play any greens. So Barrage of Bullets, spend any number of bullets to increase the damage attack deals by 2 for each bullet this way. So that's 1 and 2. And I actually could move if I wanted to. But I don't want to move because I need to pay a higher cost. So 2 bullets. That's getting extra 4 damage. That's 4 damage right there. We have 8 damage coming out to the Hydar, okay? So 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, I just need to deal 4 more wounds, all right? It's a lot of damage. That is a lot of damage, though. Okay, we do need to do this. Like I said, we know what this is. So he's gaining 1 struggle, and he's putting a Thornvine into, I should not have done that. I realize my mistake now. So, no, I think he did escalation. I think we did escalation with him, so I don't have to worry about that. So then that would be that. So he would just gain 1. All right, he would just gain 1, and then that comes out. Unfortunately for me, that's a blue, which is not what I needed. And then a Thornvine token is coming out into this sector, all right? And I have 1 card left over, which is repositioning. I would keep my stamina token, all right? And we are going to do attrition, all right? So attrition, we have 0. All right, so I'm safe. Monster is going to turn to the aggro player right there. I'm going to discard all the cards in my hand, and we are drawing 4 new cards. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, and I should have the aggro token. All right, what do we get? 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. Okay, well, that is the end of round number 4, I believe. We will take it back up top to the consume phase. Let me go ahead and shift around marker number 5 down. We're going to go ahead and take it back up top to our consume phase. I don't want to consume anything. Behavior refresh. So both of these 4s are gone. All right, both of these 4s are gone, and we're going to just put those there. And then he does get 2 per player, which is going to take him over the limit. And he is going to unleash, dealing 2 damage to both of us. So that's 1, 2, and we're going to go to 5. All right. Now we go with the aggro player's turn, which is our heavy gun character. So she is at critical health, so we get to draw a card. All right. We are the aggro player, so we are going to have to spend a stamina to move, or we can just stay where we're at and become threatened. You know what? I'm just going to spend my stamina to move. All right, so we will move into the sector with the Bathanas plant. I want to do some healing. I want to do some healing. So let's see what we got. We got red, red, blue. All right, when we would do damage, we choose player to discard from their hand. If you do, reload 2, draw where bullet track. You may shuffle all. Okay. Interesting. So everything is gonna cost 1 more. So let's go recharging. All right. Well, no, he's activating a blue, which is going to do damage. All right. This is that real crappy. But when I take damage, oh well, dual blade's gonna take damage as well. All right, that's unfortunate. So I don't have a lot of options here. I don't know what I want to do. We got red, red, blue, guys. Let's see here. I did actually start my turn in a healing spot, so I would have not actually had, I'm not going to heal myself in order to draw that card. I am sorry, guys. I'm all over the place right now. I was filming earlier, and then I had to pause it, and coming back to it just kind of threw me off the game. I really don't have a lot of options. Unfortunately, the dual blade's going to die, and I don't think the dual blade's going to die. I think it's just an active player. All right, well, let's see what happens. So recharging, reload 2. I need to spend 2 stamina for this. So we will discard this card, and we will discard this card as well. Actually, no. We're going to discard strategic support, okay? So those are the 2 that I'm getting rid of. Because I discard this card from my hand, I get to draw 1 card, and I get to reload 2. All right, and also remove 1. So we reload 2, remove a struggle, draw a card. What do we got? Quick shot. All right, quick shot. So we are going to hit this. So the active player suffers damage unless they reveal a yellow from their hand, and this is boosted. And the active player will search their discard pile for a Venom card and place it on top of their deck. So that's gone. Search our discard for a Venom card. Put that on the top of the deck. And what did it say? Do I have a yellow? Nope. So I will take damage. However, when you would suffer damage, discard this card from your hand to prevent that damage. Okay. So I am free of that. Okay, what do we have now? We just got some more blues. When you discard this card from your hand, reload 1 or deal your base weapon damage. Because I reloaded, also I forgot, I get this mastery right here, which is when you reload, search your deck or discard pile for a red. And actually, how many reds? 1, 2, 3. I got 3 reds in the discard pile, which I might do. Okay, next I'm gonna play repositioning. Okay, I will get rid of pressing shot. Ooh, actually no, pressing shot or quick shots. So I could draw 2 or shuffle all my reds back into my discard pile. I can deal my base weapon damage. Putting 3 reds back in my deck is probably actually really better. So we will reposition. I'm going to discard these 2. I can either reroll 1 or deal my base weapon damage, okay? So we're going to get rid of... Actually, no. I just have to get rid of this because that is 2 stamina. So just get rid of that to play reposition. So I get to shuffle all of my reds back in my deck. All right, shuffle these 3 reds back into my deck, and let's put 1 and then throw 1 kind of in the middle there. All right, so I have played 2 offensive cards back to back. All right, and what do I want to do? I might, you know what? Instead of dealing damage on this one, I might just take the reload. There. And then when you reload, you can search your deck or discard pile for a red and add it to your hand, which I kind of want Cannonball. So I'd want Cannonball. All right, shuffle my deck back up. Okay, perfect. Shuffle my deck back up. And we're not removing any struggle because he has none, but we do get to remove this Thornvine token. All right. Now I'm left with these 2. I think I'm going to end my turn right there. So we will need to do attrition, which is 2. All right. So I will be taking 2 Damahe from this guy. All right. So 1 and 2. And we need to shuffle our attrition deck. All right, attrition deck shuffled. Discard these cards. All right, draw up. I have 2. Need to get a stam token for that. And then we're going to go 1, 2, and 3. All right, Venom. Ugh, man. This Venom is eating me alive. Venom is eating me alive. Okay. Monster turns to the aggro player. And now we go to our dual blade character. Well, our dual blade character is in a sector with a bananas plant, so we get to heal 1. I also get to draw an additional card because she is in critical health. All right. And we need to decide if we want to move. We're not the aggro player, so we actually can move for free. However, we might die anyway, so I think whenever you discard this card, generate stamina for movement, you may overrun the monster instead of moving. If you do, remove 1 struggle. If I overrun the monster, I can draw a card or deal my base weapon damage. I just gotta find a way to survive. There's no way I'm gonna survive. Well, actually, I will survive because of that healing. But I need to find a way to bounce some of this back and forth and get over there. Let's see. I don't think I'm going to move for free. I think what I'm going to do is do crossover. So I will discard this card in his hand to generate stamina for movement. You may overrun the monster instead of moving, and if I do, remove 1 struggle. And actually the stamina cost, I have been forgetting this, so that would not happen because I would have to pay an extra stamina cost. I have been forgetting to do that. I probably forgot to do that last turn. So when you discard this card from your hand, well, I'm doing the red and I'm going to move for free. All right. So we will move down to this sector right here. Okay. So everything is going to cost 1 extra, at least from my... so that's 2. That's 1. And I can chain a green after that. So that's 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, it might be better just play crossover for free. That's only going to be 1. So get rid of a stamina, or get rid of a venom token or venom card. That's going to deal a damage. That's 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What do I want to do next? If I get rid of this, then I'm screwed. I think I play... Where am I at? Man. Just precision strike from my hand. Get rid of 2. Get rid of... Actually, pay 2. Shadow Step. All I gotta do is pay 2 for that. I may immediately overrun the monster. So I may immediately overrun the monster. All right, I get to draw. I will... I'm gonna deal my base weapon damage. So I'm dealing 3. So this would be 5. So that's 1, 2 right there, and 3. All right. So 3's coming that way. Now we're actually going to deal some more damage. So 7 more damage. We'll also get to remove a Thornvine token in that sector. All right. And we're going to deal 7 more damage. So that's 10. That's 11. That's 18. So 16 deals a wound. So 16 deals a wound, and then 2 is going to be left over. Whenever he deals a wound, we got to put a Thornvine token in a sector. And I did play a red. So was that crossover aggro card? I did play a red. So this activates. The active player is in a sector with a Thornvine token. That player becomes threatened and suffers damage. We take 2 damage and we are dead. Okay. The dual blade character is dead, so remove everything from this. We pick a thing to helm. All right, so that's gone. We discard our hand, shuffle our entire deck together. All right, shuffle this entire deck together. Our turn will immediately end. The monster will turn to face the aggro player. And actually, I got to put these 2 cards in here as well. And here's the tricky thing. I think what happens technically is the aggro player or a turn immediately ends, but the rest of these behavior cards activate, and I think the heavy gun character becomes the active player now, which would mean players in a sector. Okay, so he wouldn't be able to activate that. All right. So that and that. All right. He is out, so he is going to escalate. All right, he will escalate, and the dual blade character is turned over. She's dead. Oh, yep, she's dead on the ground, and we get a KO token. All right, KO token. So our turn will immediately pass to the heavy gun character. So we are in a sector with this, so the active player cannot play any green in their sequence this turn. All right, and then actually this would need to reshuffle first. This would need to reshuffle first. All right, we're going to drop that down, and then boom, boom, boom. So then we have a rampage as well. Hydar gains 1 struggle per player. Each player in the sector with a Thornvine token must discard the top 3 cards of their deck and suffers damage for each card they get. So he gets 2. All right, and we discard the top 3. So 1, 2, and 3. All right, strafing. Okay. That goes out. I think what I'm going to do is start my turn in this sector. I get to heal 1. I'm choosing not to move. All right, I'm choosing not to move, so I will take a threatened token. All right, and the first thing I'm playing from my turn is Cannonball. All right, Cannonball, so spend 3 bullets. If you do stun the monster, increase the damage attack deals by 4. Another player can help generate stamina if you do for this card. So I need 4 stamina. So this is 1 stamina from the venom, and I need to take a damage. All right, 2 stamina from my stamina token, and ooh, 3 and 4. Why not? 3 and 4. Okay, so I am dealing 8 damage to him, which is going to put him at 10. All right, I also get to stun him, and that means I get to cover up a behavior card, which is going to be that one. And that's pretty much everything that's going to happen. So these are going to activate 3. So players in a sector with Thornvine suffer damage, then Hydar becomes vulnerable. Ooh, so I take an additional 2. All right, 1 and 2. You guys can see that. All right, it's coming off my screen a little bit. Sorry. We're taking a lot of damage there. And then we have this. The active player in a sector with a Thornvine token that becomes threatened and suffers damage. So I would take another 2 damage, which would put me at 10, which would go ahead and KO our heavy gun character. All right, guys. Well, unfortunately, we have both been KO'd by the Hydar. Well, guys, look, that was a tough, hard-fought battle by us. We managed to get the Hydar down to 3 health. But unfortunately, the Hydar is successful in taking care of us. Now, I do need to look in the rule book for a sec to see what happens if you do fail a scenario. What we are going to do here. All right, so if you failed, we'll play through the chapter again, starting with the quest board phase. Place the failed quest card back in its corresponding space on the quest board. You can choose to play the same quest again, or you may decide to change the active quest and try a different scenario. Players do not progress to the next campaign chapter until they have successfully completed a quest. Note, when you play through the chapter again, keep all your resources, your crafted equipment, and prepared potions. Any potions that were consumed during the failed scenario are returned to those players. Whether you succeed or fail, each player removes all their wound cards from their deck at the end of the scenario. Monsters are designed to be tough, so losing a fight is all part of the game experience. Alright guys, well look, we have failed. We're going to go ahead and go back to the quest board here. I'm going to go ahead and pop another poll up to see, show you guys all of our available quests. Do you want to see the Hydar again? Look, I'm going to be honest, if we are going to be taking on the Hydar again, you guys are going to have to start getting me some better equipment, aka y'all start voting on a better helm, guys. I got the base helm. I should not still have the base helm. We should be voting on the base helm instead of weapons, okay? Get me a helm, please. Give me some more health. But I'm going to go ahead and put that quest in there. Y'all go ahead and vote on the next quest that we're going to do. And we are still in Chapter 2. But as always, guys, if you like this content, smash that like button, hit that notification bell. And as always, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to our channel so we can keep bringing you some more awesome content. All right, guys. Y'all have a great one. Bye.